Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love. American made.
Listen up, Autobots and Decepticons. You're listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey.
I'm your other host, Nero.
And Earthspark continues to be a really funny show.
Listen up, cadets. This ain't this ain't no walk in the park. We're here with Ghost. We're here with Agent Schloder.
Do you think that was at all a reference to Hank Schrader?
Maybe. He's not really, doesn't really look, sound, or act anything like him, but it is a weird name.
Yeah. He kind of sounds like him.
Nah, he doesn't have any of the I don't know how to describe the Dean Norrisisms that I think of, but he doesn't really have any of that stuff. He's more, I don't know Agent Schloder is an enigma. He's hard to deal with.
That is true. He's obviously he's a very funny version of a government agent. There was a character. Oh, that's who it was. He reminds me of the mailman from Psychonauts.
Oh, Boyd?
Yeah.
Right. When he's in his own mind and he's very cogent and stuff, and he's all got that secret spy sort of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I thought of something much more cursed, which is the government agents from Johnny Test.
Oh, see,
one of whom I think might be Patrick Warburton, but I don't remember.
Is that who?
No, it's not Patrick Warburton.
Okay, I was about to say.
I'll tell you now, actually. Agent John Schloder, who we will talk about shortly, is voiced by Mark Evan Jackson. Does that name ring any bells?
No.
Do you ever watch The Good Place?
Yes.
Do you know Michael's boss? That's him. He's like a comedic character actor.
And Holt's husband on Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yep, that's him.
Yeah. Holy shit. Okay, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
What I was about to say is that I can't relate to what you just said because I'm a Chad and I never watched Johnny Test.
I accidentally saw minutes of it when I was younger and I never really recovered.
Well, let's talk about a much better cartoon than that one.
Yeah, much better. We watched 2 episodes. As always, we watched Classified and what was the other one?
Traditions.
So
episode 5 is Classified.
Robbie's having fucked up dreams.
It's not going super well on the mental health front for Robbie in this one.
So he's dreaming about Ghost taking his family away and Optimus Prime being this hulking, ominous figure and all this stuff.
Though to be fair to him,
yeah,
the only time he's experienced Optimus was when Optimus was trying to take his family away from him.
Yeah, doesn't exactly have a whole lot of positive experiences with Optimus yet. He wakes up. Twitch, of course, the cyber sleeves. She senses what's going on. She's like, "You want to talk about it?" He's like, "Nope." And she says, "Okay, you want to go out and look for baby foxes?"
And he says, "Absolutely, yes, please, God."
It's pretty clear that this has been happening for a while, because
it's unclear. So, a lot of the conflict that is set up in this episode is between Robbie and Mo, and the idea that Robbie is not telling Mo.
Yes, I think
important things, which we'll get into more later. I'm slightly confused given how their mind link works.
Do we know how their mind link works?
Yeah, I don't.
So it's not okay. The thing about it is, right, it's not really telepathy. You can't read each other's minds. It's an empathetic link. It's vibes based.
Yeah, I know, but like Twitch obviously felt that he was upset enough to have suggested this and like clearly knows what's going on. I'm starting to think that it's actually not a four-way.
It's not.
Yeah.
Maybe it's only four-way when like they're all in the same vicinity.
I don't think it's four-way. I think it's just that Mo and Robbie happen to feel the same things.
Yeah.
Very often. And Twitch and Thrash also tend to feel the same things very often. So, yeah, because there's no reason that Twitch should be able to know how upset Robbie is without Thrash and Mo
also
knowing
if it's a four-way connection. Yeah.
If it's the four-way connection at this point. So they go out walking in the forest, and the baby foxes they found have moved. So they go on a search, and they find adult pigs instead.
Yeah, there's it kind of reminded me of the beginning of Bumblebee with the Sector 7 guys on the fucking paintball training mission. There's just a bunch of ghost agents running around in the woods, led by a man who immediately asks Robbie, "What? Identify yourself, small citizen." He does not know what children are.
Ghost is walking a very fine line here between being like the most ominous government organization we've seen to date in a Transformers show and just like the goofiest collections of goons.
Look, it's pretty clear to me that Ghost compartmentalized all the dipshits onto Schloder and his team. These cadets are not... They ain't the cream of the crop, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
Before this... Schloder, really, but we'll get there.
Yeah. He is something else, man. He does not... He feels like an alien. He feels like an alien that's come to Earth. He feels like the Crebit or Deadit comic.
Bingo, Bogos Bented.
Bogos Bented?
It's the sight of these strange men walking around in the woods scares the shit out of Robbie. So Twitch comes to rescue him, and they see this drone lifting Robbie away, and they jump to the conclusion that there is a rogue Decepticon kidnapping children.
Now, here's one thing I also didn't understand from this. I'm under the impression that there actually was someone in the area. That's why they were there. So I'm really interested to find out if that is the case, and if so, what Decepticon we're gonna be introduced to.
Unless there was already a Decepticon they were looking for, why were they out there? Because
we see later on in this episode a screen that shows like Decepticon signal locations. So I would guess that there is another Decepticon hanging out somewhere in Witwiki right now. Or maybe it's Swindle.
He's the only one we know for a fact is still hanging out and is not currently, as we see later, in the fucking clink. Or
pieces.
Yeah. Look, Hardtop is mostly fine. He's just missing an arm. And he doesn't seem that torn up about it. It's like he lost his fucking wallet or something.
Getting tortured with dismemberment must be a Tuesday.
That's right. Look, Hardtop has been Ship of Theseus back together several times. Swindle has sold every part of him 7 times over to like various guys. Remember, we haven't covered it yet, but there's an episode of G1 which is generally considered one of the stupidest 30 minutes of animation ever.
Swindle fucks the Combaticons.
Yeah, where Swindle literally sells the Combaticons for parts.
Oh my god. You know, it's kind of remarkable that Onslaught didn't cop that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, once again, the man's name is literally Swindle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the next morning, Robbie is fucking dead ass tired because he did not sleep.
I do also want to just really quickly mention one thing. We get a Harrisburg mention. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Harrisburg,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. Where as Twitch takes off with Robbie, one of the agents tries to shoot her
Just
and
immediately pulls up the big ass gun.
Yeah, and Schloder, to his credit, like, knocks it out of the way. This is probably the one good thing Schloder does this episode.
It's like, hey, don't shoot at the Decepticons when they have a human hostage, you fucking idiot. What are you doing?
Yeah. And with the line, you could have blown that kid halfway to Harrisburg, which is pretty good.
This requires Ghost's best. Me, Agent John Schloder.
Yes, anyway, next morning.
Dot has taken the kids to her ranger outpost. To just, hang out, look around. And like I said, Robbie is asleep on his feet.
One of the running jokes of this episode, too, is that Twitch is the only one who pays attention.
Yeah.
To the information at the ranger station, and she gets very disappointed that no one else has done so.
She instantly devours every animal fact available, just like memorizes it all.
I'm so obsessed with her.
Meanwhile, Thrash is just doing whatever, and Robbie's like, I'm gonna go take a nap. This shit's boring. So he goes to like a storage room, finds a chair, and just hangs out. And then a box jumps out at him, and then a man jumps out at him, and it's the same man, and it's John Schloder, and there's a secret ghost elevator in Dot's ranger station.
Hey, Ma, there's a weird cat in the backyard.
Yeah, literally, Robbie runs out and says, Mom, there's a guy in there, and she goes, okay, everyone go outside, I will handle this.
She's like, hide the robots.
Do not let him see the Terrans, please. So they hide outside, and John Schloder introduces himself and immediately says, all right, Dot, you're going to help me out. You are on this mission too now.
Dot's like, cool, what's the mission? And he's like, I cannot tell you. And then she's like, I cannot help you then.
And then she's like, fine. There's a rogue Decepticon kidnapping children. Looks like a bright red drone. And Dot immediately surreptitiously texts the kids, go home. And right now.
With, notably, no emojis, which Mo says is the equivalent to her yelling.
And Thrash is like, oh my god, Mom never yells. And then there's a beat and he's like, oh, that's why it's, oh, okay, I get it. It's very serious. I understand.
And they all, Dot acquiesces to assisting Agent Schloder and gets into her ranger car with him.
We neglected the mission of the most important character, Mr. Slithers.
Oh yes, and his wife, Mrs.
Missing.
Slithers.
What happened to Mrs. Slithers? I think there's Decepticon activity afoot.
The snake has broken its cage. Yes, the snake is out.
So yeah, they're in the car. They're in Dot's truck. They're driving home, and Schloder's like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to, you technically you work for us, so you're gonna have to go back to base, and undergo some ghosts like training and stuff, and also I'm gonna need to interview your kids." And she says, "No, buddy, you are not doing that."
And she's like, okay, I work for Ghosts, so this is fine. But my kids do not, so no. And Schiller's like, well, I need to know if they've heard anything. They have peers. They may have heard something on the school ground. And he gets very serious and he goes, playground chatter saved my squad in the Knee Slapper Valley incident.
Hundreds dead. The Knee Slapper Valley incident. It's a real scar on Ghost's history.
Yeah.
Never bring it up.
So it cuts back over to the kids, And they are walking home via an airport?
Yeah, is this an abandoned airfield? Or a not abandoned airfield?
I could not figure it out. It feels, if it is an airfield, it looks like an airfield.
Mm-hmm.
There are hangars.
There's runways, there's holographic pitfalls. Well, that's not, like any other airfield.
That's one of Boeing's new features on the 737. They weren't crashing enough, so...
It just spices up the takeoff, and makes it a little more exciting. But yeah, they get another text, and Robbie's like, oh, fuck, now Mom's telling us not to go home. What do we do? And then they all fall in, like I said, a holographic pitfall, which I think Robbie says was a Decepticon. The Decepticons used it a lot during the Great War.
Now, I have to imagine that when the Decepticons did it, it was some, like, Viet Cong type shit.
Yeah, I was about to say, they were doing some holographic punji pits. They were not just making a hole. They were filling the hole with very sharp things.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there are no sharp things. Immediately, Twitch tries to fly out and hits the Energon shield and gets shocked. And Thrash is like, no, you need more speed. Check this out. And
Thrash also does this after Mo's in the middle of saying this while Twitch is doing it, but she's like, yeah, I heard those things were, and then Twitch gets electrified, and she's like, yeah, like that. And Thrash, rather than heating this, goes, no. You just gotta go fast.
You just need more speed. So he does like the motorcycle trick where you drive really fast around a rounded surface, so you gain a lot of speed, and then he also gets owned.
You wouldn't believe what happens next, folks. Yeah. Believing they will be trapped there forever lasts about 5 minutes before the owner of the pit comes to relieve their query. And it's Optimus.
Yeah, this is when Mo and Robbie start kind of getting snippy with each other, getting pretty mad. Which the Terrans obviously notice and go, I don't like when they're fighting. It feels bad. Yeah, it's Optimus.
Is this when Thrash asks about being forever mad? No, that's later in the shooting range.
That's in the trailer.
It's another good line.
Right before he accidentally busts open the door via superpowered hacky sack.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, Optimus is like, oh boy, good thing I found you guys first. You guys better watch out. There's a Decepticon afoot. And he's like, yeah, Robbie says, if Ghost finds the Terrans, they're going to take them away. And Optimus says, don't worry. I have a very safe and secure location for you to all stay. It's my trailer.
He's so fucking stupid.
We get some great Optimus content this episode.
I love how cringe fail this Optimus is.
He's like Alito and Megatron over there going like, oh, I can't not fuck him. Ooh.
He's just so pathetic.
He is a fucking failed dad trying his best on this bitch of an earth. So when Schloder and Dot get back to the Malto house, Alex is frying up some Spam, so he doesn't hear the several coded doorbell rings.
Oh, he hears them. He just doesn't register them.
Yeah, he's in the fucking spam zone right now. Okay.
Hide the bots.
And Bumblebee is out in front of the breakfast nook doing calisthenics. But yeah, Schloder walks in. Alex quickly, puts up the signal for Bumblebee to hide, and they try to kind of redirect Schloder's attention, but unfortunately he hears Bumblebee transformed. He's like, I know that sound. That came from the barn. So he goes to try and investigate the barn, and
Alex
says, wait, you can't look in there. That's my man cave.
And there's just a beat where Dot gives him the most disappointed look.
She fucking face
That,
palms
like-
and just gives him a withering look, and Schloder just like pushes past him and opens the door without a word.
Yeah, just like shrugs, like pushes past him.
And he finds a fucking sweet sports car sitting there in the barn.
This guy's dumb as dirt.
He
He
knows,
heard the transformation noise.
but look, he does.
What did he think it turned into?
I don't really know how he doesn't make the connection that there's a cool ass car sitting in this barn and hear the transformation
I mean,
noise.
he wants to drive that car so bad.
Yeah,
it makes
he gets
it look
distracted.
Stupid, I guess,
he
but,
gets distracted by the butt hugging, comfortable seats, and all the other features of the car.
It's canon, folks. Bumblebee
yes.
conforms to your ass.
He has the cushy for your tushy, as Schloder says later. He goes down the list. I don't remember what exactly the fake model of car they say, but he says, "I'm going to have to commandeer your vehicle for the mission," and Alex is immediately like, actually, it's a very sensitive car. Only it's really temperamental. Only I can drive it. And he goes, "That's fine. You can come along with me."
There's a bit of negotiating with Bumblebee
Yes.
here.
Oh,
that's quite funny as well, where like Agent Schloder gets in, and before Alex has even like started the engine, Bumblebee rumbles it, like revs it,
and he's
to show
like,
his displeasure.
Yeah.
And Alex like goes down on his knees like, "It's gonna be okay. All right, just be like chill. I promise we won't eat any food with crumbs on it." And Bumblebee revs louder, and he goes, "We just won't eat any food. That's fine. Please be chill."
Yeah, shades of like live action Bumblebee in this episode where he's fucking with Schloder in robot mode or in vehicle mode.
Yeah. I will say also for myself, I was listening closer for like Danny to hear Danny Pootie's voice. And like once I like was actually actively listening for it, I heard it, but damn, I never would have clocked that in a million years.
He's good.
Yeah.
So
I was in
Schloder-
DuckTales.
That motherfucker was in DuckTales.
I was in DuckTales, Larry.
Was he Huey, Dewey, or Louie?
I don't know. I just think that's the funniest interview I've ever seen.
It's really good.
Coffee? You get coffee? I'm in DuckTales, Larry.
So, yeah, he tells Dot she needs to report to Ghost HQ for her orientation, and then he and Alex speed off to continue the investigation.
I want to say the warning that he leaves her with. You gotta go to orientation, and trust me, afterwards there'll be a test, a tough test. It's called life. Just impeccable delivery.
So she heads over there and is greeted by Optimus.
Well, first we get some other stuff.
We don't get the trailers shot yet, or we kind of see them, but we don't know what's going on there yet. But yeah, first we get Optimus and his brochures.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Because I have, are you guys like forever mad before we couldn't be ghosts without your spirit?
Oh God!
I think this cuts over to the trailer now. Actually, I'm pretty sure
we get a very brief she just looks at all these cheese. She's like, "Of course you'd be involved in this shit." And he's like, "Look, it's fine."
Yes, yeah, that's
we just gotta watch a video.
Yeah, we cut over to the trailer, and Twitch accidentally says something about the agents.
Yeah, she lets it slip, and
about them being attacked by the agents. She's like, "Who do you think?" She's saying something like, "Who do you think's out there? Do you think it's the same guys who attacked us in the woods?"
Yeah.
And Mo's like, "Someone attacked you in the woods?"
Yeah, she's like, "Hey, whoa, what happened here?" And this escalates her and Robbie's fight, where he's she's like, I wish you'd fucking tell me these things. And he says, "Well, I didn't tell you because I knew you'd blow your top and overreact like this." And they just keep yelling and yelling until their anger kind of supercharges the Terran's strength, and their hacky sack, Thrash throws the hacky sack at the wall so hard it like opens up the trailer door and everyone kind of spills out.
Yeah. In the meantime, Thrash does ask a great question where he's like, are you guys like forever mad or like I need a snack mad?
Yeah, he's like, how serious is it? Are you just hangry or what? Do you just need a Snickers? Or is this like therapy stuff? But they're pretty quickly spotted by some ghost cadets, and they gotta fucking hoof it.
Diversity win. Your evil government agent is a hijabi.
Yeah, I noted that. There's
it
also...
is. I mean, just like a quick note. Like, I do think Earthspark does a very good job, generally speaking, of talking about the diversity of displaying a diversity of people that reflects reality. But it does mean that you get things like diversity when your evil government agent is a hijabi, which is like very funny.
To be fair, we learned that Ghost is a global organization this episode, because we finally learned what the acronym is for. It's like Global Hazardous something.
Occupation something. Yeah.
Global Hazard and Ordnance Strike Team.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Bumblebee is not getting along with Schloder. He tries to get into the car with the powdered donut, and Bumblebee knocks him on his ass with his door.
Yeah. We spend more time with Dot and Optimus as well. Dot, like, Optimus like leads her to a training area, I guess. And she looks up and there's a big sign that says, "We couldn't be ghosts without your spirit." Mm-hmm. We get this like entire sequence of this orientation is like some real Obsidian Fallout shit. Like if you put a Pip-Boy in there, it would not be out of place.
For sure. Yeah, and there's a whole, Optimus has this whole cheesy spiel. He's got a fucking video. And yeah, Dot is really like, the whole humans and Cybertronians working together is a great idea, but man, this stuff, the way you're selling it to me, it feels weird.
Yeah, she's like, why the hard sell? And also, like, what happens to the Decepticons that you do catch?
Like,
and Optimus says, well, that is classified. And Dot says, awesome.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. So, of course, back to the Malto kids. During their mad dash, where else would they end up but Megatron's training room?
It is set to, it is a simulation of a rescue mission set to, and I quote, level Unicron 14.
Oh, that's when you get the really high level enemies popping up. But the loot is amazing.
But the loot's amazing.
So there's a lot of, mobile turrets running around, and you'd guess for a guy the size of Megatron, they wouldn't do much. They'd be a little annoying. Probably pop a human like a grape, though.
Yeah, they'll do surgery on a grape.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
Remember that guy in the Bumblebee movie?
Oh god, yeah, that was funny.
Liquefied. That's gonna happen if one of these fucking things hits the child. So they gotta figure that out. They gotta kind of do the course here.
And they are getting, Mo and Robbie are once again getting exponentially angrier at one another.
They are not getting along. However, their anger is fueling Twitch and Thrash's like strength. So they're like, all right, we can use this. We can use this to protect them. So they start going apeshit on the course. They start doing stunts and shit. It's pretty sweet.
It looks good. It's a good looking show.
Twitch pulls the little like bug wings off her back, and they're swords now. That's a new thing. She's never done that before.
Twitch goes through a lot of growth in these episodes.
She does. She meets another
When
dad.
it comes to her abilities.
She learns a lot. I wish self-actualization meant I got 2 swords. That'd be great. Meanwhile, of course, the ghost agents call in that the rogue Decepticon is at the base. So Schloder immediately tries to get Alex to go there, but Bumblebee's not going that way. So he commandeers another vehicle. He grabs this old lady's car, and what does he say to get her to go?
One second, drive like it's the salmon shortage of 1779.
And she fucking peels out.
She's a woman on a mission, yeah.
Meanwhile, Bumblebee is calling Optimus. I think at the end of the episode, we hear like 86 times or something.
Oh, one other thing I want to mention really quickly about the training sim sequence. Mm-hmm. Really quick. Sorry. I'm just looking at all my notes here. We like cut back and forth to it several times over the course of these scenes. Mm-hmm. Is that we've commented on the background music several times already, and it's like this really cool like 80s synth pop.
Yeah.
This track in particular that plays over this scene as Twitch and Thrash go bananas here is basically out of touch.
It kind of is, yeah.
It's like out of touch right before it gets to the lyrics.
Yeah, it is kind of like the intro bit to Out of Touch. So yeah, there's the kids, the Mo and Robbie kind of have their moment where they're like, all right, they are honest with each other, and Robbie's like, I'm not supposed to be scared. I didn't want to admit that I keep having nightmares and all this other stuff because I'm supposed to be the big brother. I'm supposed to be the sort of standard of strength,
She's like, well, that's stupid.
That's dumb. Don't do that. So they team up. They realize that the way to stop the simulation is to rescue the holographic civilian that's at the very tippy top of the thing. So they do some, once again, sweet ass stunts that Thrash fastball specials Mo and Robbie up to the pillar, which is very cool.
The action sequences in this show are just phenomenal. They're just so good to look at. Really.
Yeah, and they tag the guy, they deactivate the thing. And at this point, the terrible, cheesy, orientation is over. Dot has watched a terrible video, and Optimus has done the finger guns, and so he's like, all right, time to go pick up your kids. They're in the garage, and she's like, what?
Downstairs.
What the fuck? What are you talking about? So yeah, they open the door. The cadets are there, ready and waiting. But thankfully, Dot and Optimus pop up right behind them and go, "Oh, hey, don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody you saw this." He's like a little keep it between us. Thumbs up, wink.
Yeah.
So everyone, reunites and heads on out. But to avoid Schloder, because he finally picks up Bumblebee's call, to avoid Schloder seeing them, Prime goes out the back way, which is through the Decepticon detention cells.
And yeah. So Dot and Dot is of course with them, and she's not thrilled about this.
Yeah, she's like, "Hey, this seems bad," and Optimus is like, "It's not good, but."
Now bear with me, it's not good.
Yeah, he's like, I will always strive for a better solution, but right now this is kind of the best I got, and it fucking sucks. But you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do.
Throw me a friggin' bone here.
yeah, Schloder, of course, didn't get his con, and we end with a nice little talk with Mo and Robbie on the roof, and you know, because Robbie is so afraid, you know, he's like, you know, you're afraid of losing us, but that shouldn't, you know, you shouldn't let that loss, fear of loss isolate you. Or whatever. You gotta talk to us. You gotta tell us what's going on.
Yeah,
It's one of the rules.
It's a very charming ending.
Who's ready for a fucking walk hunt?
Yeah. Hey, did you know that Alex is Filipino?
Episode 6, Traditions. We start with some story time where he's telling Mo and Robbie the tale of the walk, which is like a sort of folkloric vampire bird-ish thing from Filipino culture. You know, it eats lost children and all of that stuff. Twitch and Thrash. Yeah, Twitch and Thrash are kind of, you know, they're like, oh man, why didn't we get invited to story time? And Alex says, I'm sorry, I'm not used to, you know, so many people on the itinerary. I forgot to reschedule.
Yeah, and and Alex is like, okay, that's fine. I'll just retell it. And Robbie, who is trying very hard to not show how freaked out he is like, nope, I'm good. Thank you. Good night.
Yes. And the first mention of the yearly walk hunts here, I believe. Where he's like, don't forget, tomorrow's the walk hunt. And Robbie's like, I got a game.
Give me one moment. I gotta get a tissue. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm back.
Robbie says, you know, Dad, I got a game. I got a big gamer moment to do, you know.
Yeah, esports champion confirmed for Robbie. They
must, you know, I remember it was a whole thing where he couldn't even get Wi-Fi in the first episode. They must have Ghost must have set him up with some fucking gaming modems for Robbie.
That or Blizzard.
Yeah.
I know he's part of Owl.
We never see what he's playing.
Do we think it's Owl or do we think it's League?
I don't know. It sounds
Or do
like
we think it's
shooter.
Valorant?
I think it's Valorant. Because let me tell you, if he's part of Overwatch League, he ain't doing too great right now.
No, he's not.
Things are going poorly.
God, it's insane how far Overwatch has fallen. Anyway,
it dropped off. But yes, so he's got some fucking gaming to train for, and hey, remember this weirdo? He's back, and we finally have his real name.
One of them at least. We have his last name.
Yeah, we don't have his full name, but this is Mandroid training with his big arm, and he's monologuing to himself, and he calls himself Dr. Meridian.
Also, well, we find out more about him later, much later in the episode, right by the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get some hints about some character relationships he might have, which are interesting.
Yeah. What is he monologuing about, you may ask?
His character motivation, of course.
He's a real humans first kind of.
He is we have, you know, he's like, the Cybertronians are a scourge on this planet. They're dangerous. I must become them to purge them.
Yeah, to protect humanity, I must make myself into a monster to end all monsters, basically. And it's like, great, this has always worked so well.
They called it the Jaeger program. But he's having a hard...
In this one, you actually become the Jaeger.
You know, he can talk a big talk as much as he wants, but he's got a real hard time shooting that gun.
All the spider bots laugh at him. It's really funny.
Bro, your minions are laughing at you. Not good. But he tells them to go out to go out and search new parts for him. He wants further upgrades.
He makes another cut. Thank God. I was actually really proud that they didn't say robots in disguise at this part.
Yeah.
But he's like, Cybertronians are disguised all around us. Find them and bring their parts back to me. So that's also, I think, probably hinting at a greater presence on Earth of Cybertronians than
Yeah.
we've sort of been led to believe at to this point. Like, it feels like it's not just a few stragglers.
Yeah, it feels like there's other guys doing other stuff. I mean, we find Wheeljack in this episode.
Right.
So there's probably like other scattered guys here and there.
And Bumblebee wasn't hiding. So we're starting to paint a picture of essentially a Cybertronian diaspora.
Yeah.
Which is
sort of like the phase 2 or no, the end of phase 1 of the IDW comics.
Right. Which is
remember that
interesting.
really weird art? Yeah, remember that weird art style where it was like kind of live action movie and everyone was really super detailed?
Yeah, I didn't like
kind
it.
of gross looking. It was
Yeah,
weird.
I didn't like it.
But it's the next morning, and Alex is like, "Hey, Robbie, it's time for the walk hunt," and he's like, "I have game. I got a game. That's baby stuff anyway. But hey, you can take Mo." And Mo says, "Sorry, Thrash has been possessed by the creative spirit and wants to learn what music is."
Well, her actual word. So Thrash has put together a bass banjo.
Yeah, it's made out of a flower pot and a tree.
Yeah, and some string. And anyway, what Mo's actual words here, I think this is a really funny way to describe it, is Thrash has discovered music.
And I need to help him through this process, or else he's gonna produce some real garbage.
Yeah.
And that's like the only shit we see of them until the very end of the episode. That's it. They're just remember when Robbie and Twitch were competing over fucking chores in that one episode? That's Mo and Thrash this time. They're just off doing music.
Yes, except that they are less present than Robbie and Twitch were.
We literally just never see them until the end of the episode. Alex is pretty bummed that no one wants to do his hunt, but he notices Bumblebee shooting some hoops. Bumblebee is a baller confirmed.
Well, not at this point, he's not. By the end of the episode, he is.
Yeah, Alex is actually the true baller because he does some sweet tricks.
Why? Alex nails a 3-pointer like it's nothing. Why is he a doctor? He should be on the Bulls. He should be hooping.
Megatron tall as fuck. He should have been hooping.
Yeah. Alex's wrist nimble as fuck. He should have been hooping.
And Bumblebee's like, holy fuck! You need to teach me how to do that shit right now.
This Alex is living the dream finally.
Yes. So he's like, all right, hey, listen, I'll tell you how to hoop, but I want to share some of my traditions with you first. And Bumblebee has a line where like, you better not be trying to break into my diary again. And Alex at first goes, look, I'm a historian. I need to. You realize how good of a primary resource that is? And he's like, but I'm not doing that. We're not talking about the diary. I just want to spend some time. And all of this has Twitch very excited because she wants to do a tradition. She's like,
She first needs to know what a tradition is.
Yes, and so Robbie is gaming, so he doesn't have he's not really paying attention.
So she's like in his window and she's like, "What's a tradition? Dad mentioned it." And Robbie's like, "Oh well, it's just something you do." This is before he's gaming. This is in the barn.
Like getting ready.
Still.
He's like,
yeah.
Then he's gaming.
But so she's
like, I want.
Well, she asks him what it is, and he's like, it's just something you do, and she's like, oh, like our secret handshake, and he's like, well, no, it's something you do every time. Like, for example, before I play games, I always sit on like my lucky pillow or whatever. And
like a lucky neck pillow that looks like a monster eating his head.
Right.
Which is a sweet pillow.
And so Twitch's big thing is at the end of it, she asks why, and he's like, oh, well, because that's how you know you belong to something.
Uh-oh.
And this causes something of an existential crisis for Twitch.
Twitch sort of begins to spiral. She was like, I want to do the walk hunt. It sounds cool. And this is when Robbie's gaming. He's like, yeah, you should go do it.
She's like, since I don't have any traditions of my own, can I borrow yours and Dad's? And he's like, yeah, go for it.
So she grabs some sticks, the twin sticks, which turn out to be saplings that Dot just planted.
Her delivery on this line. So she's in his window, and he's like, yeah, sure. And she's like, okay, cool. What do I need to do? He's like, all right, well, first you need to grab some sticks. She's just like, got it. Be right back. And she grabs these saplings and comes back. And he looks at them. He just like glances away, and he's like, are those the saplings Mom just planted? And her delivery on this line, not anymore. They're tradition sticks.
And he's like, okay, you should probably go and find Dad. He can probably tell, because he's once again, he's gaming. And his boys are like, hey, what are you doing? Pay attention, Robbie. He's like, okay, you need to go find Dad. He's over by the stump. He can probably help you more. Also, you need to put those back.
You should probably put those back. Is that also part of the tradition? No.
No. So yeah, she's flying through the woods. She goes to the stump that Alex mentioned. She doesn't find anybody there.
Well, she doesn't find anyone there because Bumblebee and Alex have had a bonding moment.
Yeah, I love this. I love this so much. So he's telling Bumblebee about his his Lolo, his grandfather's stories and all this stuff. And Bumblebee goes, "Oh fuck, you're Filipino? I didn't know that shit. I did drag races over there years ago."
Yeah, and Alex
knows what the walk walk is.
Yeah, Alex is like, great. So anyway, we're doing something called a walk hunt, and Bumblebee immediately freaks out. He's like, "There's a walk here."
Oh shit, they got walks here too. Oh fuck.
Yeah,
he pulls out his stinger and he's like, "No, we don't need that for this." And he gives Bumblebee some sticks. Yeah, I just love that Bumblebee's like, "Ah shit, no, you're Filipino. I love it over there. I did drag racing near like the airport."
Yeah, I won. Alex almost goes off on a tangent. Like, his Bumblebee fanboy comes up a bit and goes, "Oh my god, you have to tell me." No, you don't. Because I'm sharing my traditions and my history with you, not the other way around. But I'm logging that for further discussion.
Yes. So Twitch doesn't find them. She's flying around. She's like, where is everybody? And she gets knocked out by a mysterious stranger. Who could it be? It's Wheeljack.
His accent is something.
He's a good old boy. He's got a little southern twang, but not like super southern. So he's voiced by Michael T. Downey, who, from what I can tell, is like really new to acting in general, but voice acting specifically.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually his first VO role.
Yeah, I guess he's probably, I don't know, man. He's not been in most notable stuff.
No, he's been in one episode each of Chicago PD and Chicago Fire. He's been in some short films, and that's about it. And I tried to look up if he's like a behind the scenes guy, if he's like a writer or whatever, but no, not really.
No, it would also show up on his IMDb though.
I don't know who that is, but he's here, and he's Wheeljack. And Wheeljack has knocked Twitch out, thinking that she is one of his drones.
Yeah. So when she regains consciousness, still in drone mode, they have it out a little bit because Wheeljack, still thinking she's just a drone, is like, "Oh my god, it can talk. Oh my god, it's developed a personality." And then she transforms and she's like, "I'm not a drone." And he's like, "Aw, bummer. But hey, you're a Cybertronian and you transformed into one of my drones. That's so cool. Thanks so much. I invented that." And she goes, "You invented that?
You're like my dad, but I already have a dad.
Boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie."
You're like Dad too." And he's like, "I don't know about that. I just make stuff." He is okay. Wheeljack is very much a guy who does not pick up on social cues. He's very focused. He's very focused on his work and doesn't really seem to consider other people until it's like pretty obvious that something's up.
Yeah. So basically with that, he's like, well, Twitch, nice to meet you, but I'm actually looking for the spider bots, so I'm gonna go. And she's like, oh, okay. And all I could think of at this point as like, so he's like, anyway, bye, and like speeds off and just leaves her there. And all I could think of was the, why do we bash deadbeat dads for not being there for their kids, but we never mention if the child has bad vibes or if they're just unpleasant to be around?
Look, no, Twitch has blessed vibes. Twitch has immaculate vibes.
I love her so fucking much.
Wheeljack just doesn't understand that he's a dad yet. He just doesn't know. It hasn't gotten through his head yet. But luckily, she finds an arachnamech, by which I mean it finds her. But it's fine. She beats its ass off screen.
Yeah, and she drops it off at Wheeljack's feet, kind of like a dog. And then she's like, "Hey, Dad, too. I got this." And before she can do anything about it, the spider bot wakes up. Arachnamech wakes up and runs away, and she just looks at, like, both her and Wheeljack just sort of watch it go. She's like, "Aw, it got away."
Why didn't you use your EMP? And she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
I don't have an EMP. Yes, you do. You scanned one of my drones, and all of them have EMPs.
And she's like, "Whoa, shit! Really? How do I do it? How do I use it?" So we get a little training montage with her and Wheeljack, and they have a fun time. Meanwhile,
she also gets a shield.
Yeah, she gets a shield. She gets like fucking wind jets and stuff. She's
her own thing.
That's true. That is a new thing. Wheeljack's like, wow, new stuff. That's great. I love it. But meanwhile, while all this wonderful bonding is happening between both Twitch and Wheeljack and Bumblebee and Alex, as we'll see in a bit here, Robbie has had a gaming triumph. He won, and he's excitedly runs out to tell everybody that he won, and finds that everybody is away. He's alone.
Damn! If only there was a tradition that would have had him with other people.
Some kind of tradition that you could use to like bond with your family. So he starts going in the woods. And he's seeing Arachnamech, and he's like, "Oh fuck, it's the walk. It's here." He does.
There's a really weird moment of him like running over a rock for no particular reason.
Mm-hmm.
So for like the parkour of it, I guess, as he tries to escape them.
And we see Alex and Bumblebee doing their Kali training, the two stick fighting style, and Bumblebee's like, "This shit whips. Why the fuck isn't Robbie here?"
Yeah, he's like, "Your kids are awful.
They should be here. This fucking rules." I love this Bumblebee so much.
I know. He's like, "Actually, they should be here so badly. I'm going to go get them right now."
I'm literally gonna go get Robbie right now and tell him he needs to come out here and do it. And it's not like it. And that's not like a thing where it's like, "Oh, he's gonna try to ditch him." It's like, no, he's literally just so incensed that Robbie isn't out here doing cool stuff with his dad.
It's really good. He zips back to the house, and misses Robbie on the way back.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, Bumblebee, where's Dad?" And he just doesn't see him. And then the Arachnamechs find him because they're tracking Cybertronian technology, which means they're looking at his cool armband.
Robbie says a very stupid line here, which is like, you can't have this. Oh, he's like, "What do you even want?" Because he raises his hand to like get them to back off. And they track the
I love the shot of him waving his arm around and all the Arachnamechs like visually tracking it.
Yeah, so they're tracking it, and he realizes that. He's like, "You want the cyber sleeve? Well, you can't have it without ripping off my arm."
And the spiders go, "Okay."
He's like, "That wasn't an invitation," and then runs.
We literally know one thing about Mandroid, that he loves ripping off arms.
It's true.
So like, not a big barrier for them.
We're gonna have to do an arm count for Earthspark as well.
Let's see if this technically counts as a Friends at the Table property. How many arms and hands get amputated?
Yeah, that's Friends at the Table, and I is Clamp.
So, while Robbie is having bad spider times and getting fucking tossed down a hill inside of a log, Twitch and Wheeljack are still talking, and she's talking to him like, I really want, I want to, do you have any traditions from your family back on Cybertron? He's like, well, I guess, but they're really complicated and kind of hard to do here. Which I'm curious about Wheeljack's family traditions.
I know he slams that barbecue.
Oh, he's grilling. They don't let him grill anymore, though, because the grill has exploded 7 out of 8 times.
Autism be damned, my girl can grill.
Okay. God damn it. But yeah, she's like, I really want a tradition because I just feel like I don't belong anywhere. And Wheeljack's like, oh, Twitch, traditions, it's not really about, yeah, if you want a new tradition, you should start a new one with your family.
He's like, here's what I know. He's like, why do you want a tradition so bad? And she's like, because it's the only way to know that I'm part of something bigger. And Wheeljack basically says, like, listen, I don't know about tradition so much, but I do know that you have a family that loves you. And I know that you have incredible abilities, and you're a brand new species. There's so much we could learn from you. Like, you are part of something bigger, and you have to make those traditions with that family who loves you, which is very sweet.
That's when she gets the Robbie is in danger vibe
Sense.
because he is surrounded by robotic spiders. But don't worry. He's fine because Alex is here and he is going to fucking murder these spiders with some goddamn bamboo.
Why is this man an academic? I'm telling you, dude.
Get on the court, Alex. The what's the fucking Pennsylvania basketball team?
There's a couple. I think there's one in Philly and one in Pittsburgh. All right.
They're from Philly. So what is their basketball team? Because Alex, I gotta tell you, the 76ers need you, my man. You gotta get on the court. Yeah, no. So he and Robbie literally fucking murder all these mechanical spiders with their cool sticks.
Yeah, it's Alex also has a very nice line, which is like, I usually don't like killing spiders, but when you mess with my son, you leave me no choice. And they annihilate them. Meanwhile,
they open up a can of whoop ass on these things.
Wheeljack and Twitch are doing the same.
Yeah, they're lots of parent-child bonding relating to beating the fuck out of robot spiders.
Yeah, Wheeljack and Twitch do this new thing where Twitch flies up really high and uses her fans to create a vortex.
They do like a fucking Ultimate Marvel Alliance combo attack.
Yeah, Wheeljack shoots into it and basically creates this one big laser beam that just sends out shock
it's like a fucking
rays.
EMP. It's an EMP NATO.
Yeah, and EMPs literally all of the spiders in like 3 seconds. It's very good.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, by the way, something we haven't mentioned yet, Wheeljack does not have a ghost emblem. And technically, I don't know if we know that he actually works for them at all.
Yeah, no, he's a secret third thing.
Because we know that Optimus uses his drones, but that's like in his trailer. We don't know if Ghost has any access to his technology.
It's also, unclear how uninvolved Wheeljack is. Like, even if he's not part of Ghost, as a former Autobot, if Optimus asks for help,
Yeah.
if it's a direct request from Optimus, my guess is he would provide him with technology. I mean, again, we don't see a lot of him, so we don't...
We don't know... Yeah, I don't know if he's got the same situation going on with Bumblebee, where Bumblebee is literally supposed to be, like, kept hidden from Ghost as, like, an asset.
Right.
But it seems like he is not directly, like, working with them.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same thing as Bumblebee, because they talk about Wheeljack pretty openly.
Yeah. He's just decided not to, he's like, I got my own thing going on here. I want to be an independent scientist.
Yeah.
I'll give Optimus gadgets from time to time, but I'm not doing this shit. And he takes the spider bot to analyze it. Everyone comes back home, and Wheeljack introduces himself as dad too. There's a very good moment because Twitch has been hugging him a bunch, and he's just looked sort of confused and off put by it. But finally, after all of this, she hugs him and he hugs her back.
And she like squeals.
Yeah, and then he introduces himself as Dad 2 to Alex. It's very sweet. And he goes, "Yeah, we beat up a bunch of these spiders. I'm going to take this one back to base, back to my lab for to look at it." And then Alex says, "Huh, that's weird. I used to have a colleague who used technology like that anyway."
What a weird coincidence.
Hey,
Alex,
what?
Alex, you have a PhD. How are you being this stupid? His ass should be on the court.
Alex, what do you mean? What do you mean you use this technology? Who else could it be?
It's like Betamax.
Uh-huh.
One of those things that just sort of went out of style. But, like, for a while, like, 1 in every 10 households in America had a spider bot.
I guess he never saw a Mandroid. He was waiting out in the car the whole time.
That's correct.
So he doesn't know for sure, but it sure seems to me that Dr. Meridian and Alex might have some history.
I can't believe I'm getting canceled on the internet for saying what Meridian did to Alex.
What'd he do?
Fuck that old man.
Damn. And then we see Twitch has learned how to play a pretty decent tune.
Thrash.
Yeah. Thrash is able to play a pretty decent tune. Also, he's like, "Wait, is Wheeljack also my dad too?" And he's like, "No." You
Thrash.
scanned. Also, man, I gotta say, Twitch really lucked out on the fucking alt mode scanning.
Yeah, we'll see if Thrash gets more
so far
sweet.
What Thrash has is wheel shield.
Shield and sidecar.
Yeah, not super excited. Meanwhile, Twitch is like lasers, EMPs, swords, shields, wind powers. She's fucking busted.
Twitch is like, "I'm a machine of war." Smiley face.
She literally is covered in weapons, and Thrash is just like, "I'm a motorcycle." Vroom,
I go, vroom, vroom.
Yee, vroom.
Going fast makes me feel alive.
And then I like the end here where Bumblebee just picks up the basketball and fucking,
Yes.
Nothing but he's like, "Holy fuck."
The last line is just a close up on his face and then going, "I gotta spend more time with Alex."
Uh-huh. He needs to pick up those fucking sweet balling tricks.
And those were our episodes this week.
Good episodes. I love to meet new guys. Alex and Mandroid definitely know each other. And Wheeljack's a good old boy in this show.
And Twitch continues to be the best character I've ever seen.
She's so good.
I'm so obsessed with her.
Like, sorry, Earthspark is the Twitch show. Find out what Twitch and her pals will do next week.
She literally steals the show in every scene she's in.
She's a delight.
Yeah. All right, we got questions. Not on Twitter today. But in Discord from me, Mystic Daphnis, we have, "So, how about that Agent Schloder?" Yeah, how about him, huh?
Yeah, he he's a lot to handle. He's a lot to think about.
Yeah. Though, again, very funny episode, so I'm not too mad about it. From Zeffy the Gay Ajax, what bot is your dad to/mom to?
Ooh.
Well, I think it's pretty universally acknowledged that Soundwave is the best dad.
Literally, he is, yeah. I would want to be one of Soundwave's shitty little children. That sounds great.
Yeah. I mean,
Papa.
I wouldn't want to be like Rat-Bat. I wouldn't want to be like coercively made into one of his children.
Any of the other ones.
Yeah.
any of his real sons, and not the
and not his prisoner of war.
Yeah. Look,
but
I'm not saying Rat-Bat deserved it, but
he was a senator. Fuck him.
he sucked.
I say fuck him. And he ended up okay.
He got used to it.
Yeah.
You're a bat for a few million years, you gotta get used to it, you know?
Batgirls make do. Yeah, I think it...
Prowl fucking shot him.
Okay, I will say, I knew Wheeljack was in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But when he first appears on screen and was just silhouetted, I thought he was Prowl for a second, and I got so fucking mad. I was like, I got so, like, preemptively mad. It's like, I literally was like, I've had about enough of this guy before he was even revealed.
Well, I'll let you know, thankfully, no Prowl in this show.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, I'm gonna say Soundwave.
He's literally the best dad.
Yeah. Slipshoe Sam asks, alright, get your weird wood stories going. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, PA, and never had any of that spooky Appalachia stuff happen to me. So let's see if you got any good stories. Basically, y'all have any weird/spooky stories involving the wilderness. I don't go outside.
Neither do I. But my mom has a couple she likes to tell. One time, her and my dad were staying up in like a pioneer cabin for their anniversary up in like Fredericksburg. She saw like two ghosts sitting by the fireplace in old timey garb and all that stuff.
Interesting.
Another time she was much earlier in like the 60s, probably 70s maybe. She was staying up in the Appalachians in like a big sort of big house. It was supposed to be a family reunion, but they got there first, so it was like completely empty. And she swears she saw like a ghost floating over her, and like my grandma had to go through the house and turn on all the lights to show her that there was nothing there.
Interesting.
But no, I have never experienced any woods-based spookiness because I do not go in the woods.
Do you believe in those kinds of stories?
I think she saw something. I don't know what it is. I don't put too much stock into ghosts, but I like to hear the stories and I like to watch the dumb shows.
That is true. Yes. Nero from Disney Midas, Beer's name always gets me. Asks, speaking of weird/spooky wilderness stories, where were you during the Great American Emu Ranching crash of the 1990s, where, after the emu ranchers realize that they've been conned, most likely by swindle, into buying a farm's worth of emus, release their emus into the American wilderness? They say to this day they hunt lone hikers who wandered into the forest alone for sport. They don't actually say this, but it would be funny if they did.
I think this should happen. I think we should do this now. Let's release a bunch of emus and see what happens, you know? Let's figure it out.
I was probably an infant.
Yeah, I was probably like either not born yet or like a day old. I wouldn't have been able to put up much of a fight against an emu, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They're pretty big. I've seen an emu before. They're large.
And no human has won a war against them before.
No, they're formidable combatants. Just ask Australia.
Yep. Soundwave's Big Naturals asks, are Cybertronians an invasive species? Literally, yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're doing. They're invading Earth. Veer asks again, what are the emus of Cybertron? Probably like cyber foxes? Turbo foxes?
I'm sure there's a fucked up cyberbird There's like a fucking Oxium ostrich or whatever.
Cobalt cassowary.
Oh man, dude, those things have a mean kick. Watch out.
Yeah. Ruby Road Rage. Ruby asks, could the Cybertronians grasp victory in the Emu War of 1932? I don't think.
They are. I mean, they're pretty. They're more big than a bunch of guys like farmers with guns. They're pretty good. They're pretty big.
That's true, but there are a lot of emus.
In the next movie, it's going to be Bay's coming back, and he's going to say that Bumblebee was there for the Emu War. They're just going to keep moving it back.
Yeah. Right, exactly. I mean, the 30s aren't that far off from the 40s, right?
He was there during the fucking Battle of Thermopylae. He was a trebuchet. Optimus was the Trojan horse.
Pretty good. Veer asks, are the space wizards that live in the center of Cybertron the Cybertronian equivalent of emus?
I love the visionaries. That's one of the craziest parts of the later IDW stuff. Is like, yeah, there was just a wizard sitting underneath there the whole time. It's like, huh? They're like, oh yeah, they killed Ironhide. It's like, huh? What are you talking about?
No, they're not, because they don't make themselves known.
Yeah, they waited a long time, but then they just fucking blasted Ironhide.
Yeah, they sure did.
Does that make Ironhide the only casualty of the Cybertronian Emu War?
I don't know that I would call that a war.
Was it Ironhide or Cup who died? I can never remember which one.
I'm pretty sure it's Ironhide.
Which is really funny that he got by a fucking wizard.
Because Cup spends like millions of years time traveling instead.
Well, he did that before though.
Yeah.
He's in a sort of Marvin the Paranoid Android situation when he's like technically older than the universe.
Right.
Due to shenanigans, dead universe shenanigans.
Yeah. Aurora Spark asks, what's the most annoying thing you've ever experienced in a workplace onboarding program / school orientation? That was my most recent job orientation, where we had to take sexual harassment training, which is fine. It's legally mandated. I get it or whatever. But having to sit through, I forgot to get my certification at the end, so I had to take it twice, which was awful.
No.
And there's a whole section on it about gender identity. And I was like, could we not? Can I not skip through this? Please, I know I am a non-binary. Please. Please, God.
There's nothing worse than a corporate sexual harassment training video.
It's one from, this one especially was for is the one from the city of New York. It was not good. Ooh. I mean, the rest of it was fine. Like, the rest of the actual training was like a standard sexual harassment training, which means it wasn't great, but it was fine, right? Mm-hmm. But this part was the only part that was like an actual 5-minute long video just to explain the concept of gender. And I'm like, I'm going to kill myself.
That sounds bad. So for me, obviously, there's your average anti-union stuff, right? That's annoying, but that's expected. The real one that sticks out to me, though, I used to work years ago. I used to work for Amazon at one of their logistics centers. I was not in a fulfillment center, thankfully. And they literally pulled everyone out of the fucking thing to make everyone watch a presentation about their stupid drone dirigibles that they were building. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
They were like big blimps with drone fleets that would do automated deliveries. I just remember thinking, sky piracy. It's got to come. We got to do it. We got to fucking blow these blimps out of the sky and take their loot.
We need to bring back slingshots.
That's right. Taking it down like it's a fucking big game, just harpooning it like it's a sperm whale and digging through its innards for all of the cheap fucking headphones and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the most annoying thing, because they were like, this is the future. And it's like, you were going to build one of these things. And they did. There's like 3 of them. And nobody gives a shit. Sidewinder
Sabrina asks, who's the best dad in Transformers? Human dads count. for this question. Yeah.
Human dads.
Yeah.
Are there any human dads that are good that we've seen so far?
Do we count Sparkplug as good? I mean,
He's not a good dad.
Yeah.
He had his teenage boy working on that damn oil rig.
Yeah, but you know, Spike is probably like 18 at this point. He's legally allowed to.
Look, legally or not, it's just not a wise place for a dullard like Spike to be. That dude's gonna lose his arm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
That's why he has to wear the hard hat all the time.
Are there any other human dads we could count? Oh, right.
There's Alex, there's Isaac, bad dad, absentee, keep secrets.
I mean, Alex seems to be a pretty good dad.
Alex is great.
Yeah.
There's Rad's dad from Armada, who the brief he gave him some advice. And he didn't really know what his advice would entail. It wasn't bad advice. He didn't know that it would result in his son going on a space journey.
Yeah.
But he tried.
Yeah, it's Soundwave, let's be real.
It's Soundwave. He's literally the best dad.
Veer asked, who's the lukewarmiest dad? Maybe Rad. It's dad.
Or Sumdak.
Yeah.
No, it's Rad's dad because he does not show up for fucking 30 episodes.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I have a son.
Yeah, I think it's Rad's dad. And then finally, Ruby asks, who is a dad who would give Dr. Tenma from Pluto, I'm assuming, and not Monster, and Frankenstein a run for their money in badness?
Those are pretty bad dads.
Those are pretty bad dads. I haven't seen Pluto, so I can't really speak to Dr. Tenma.
Sumdak is not quite that bad. His crimes are different. I can't think of any versions of Soundwave that are like this. He loves his little guys in all continuities.
Soundwave is a perfect dad. Oh, Prowl.
Oh God, I forgot.
Prowl.
Oh man. Oh my God, what an asshole.
And you know what? You can say a lot of bad things about tarantulas. Can't call him a bad dad.
That's true. He loves
his
freak.
big green son.
Prowl, our son is beautiful. He's like, I don't know about all this. I'm good. I'm just gonna turn him loose.
Yeah,
Whatever,
no, it's
man.
Prowl. Prowl's the shittiest dad.
Oh my God, I forgot about all that stuff. What an asshole. What a fucking piece of shit.
And that's it for us this week.
That's it. We did it. We talked about Transformers.
We've been Prime Cuts. You can find us at Prime Cuts Pod on Twitter, on a Noise Space Network with a bunch of other really good shows, and hang out with us in our Discord or on Twitter as well. That's fine. I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, co-host, and Blue Sky at Optimum on Prime, which is my funny robot internet joke. You can also listen to the other podcast I do called Pod of Greed, which is about Yu-Gi-Oh! And we've just started season 2 5D, so that's going well. I've also been cast in an audio drama that is actually making real progress, and hopefully I will have much more information about that for you all soon. And that is me.
I am Near. You can find me on Twitter, Dragon Smoocher, co-host Dragon Snuggler, Tumblr, Cyclonus with a 5 at the end instead of an S. And I have various other projects in various other places. Talk Cycles, my monthly animation podcast I do with my friend Jane, who I also do Radio Free Heidelin with. That is both a podcast and a weekly Wednesday stream where we are playing through all of Final Fantasy XIV. It is a Final Fantasy XIV companion podcast. We're finally started on Heavensward, and actually, obviously, by the time you hear this, we won't be able to watch it live. But our first live podcast streamed over Twitch is going to be this Wednesday. The new format.
Cool.
We're going to do it live, and then I'll edit it and release it on Sunday.
Very cool.
You can find TalkCycles, talkcycles.tumblr.com, and heidelinradio.tumblr.com for Ready Free Heidelin. Well, until next time, I am going to get some cushy for my tushy, transform and roll out.
I am going to celebrate the diversity wins in our evil government agencies, transform and roll out.
Peach.
Peach.